We don't care about do-rags. We want dorm rooms to sleep in. So by now, you've probably heard about Tuskegee University and their dress code policy, which, by the way, this isn't new. They've had a dress code policy for many, many years. They just happen to make some updates to it, and it's getting a lot of traction online and on social media. So I'm gonna let y'all have that respectability policy conversation. I need to talk about the housing situation at Tuskegee. So about a month ago, the freshman class of 2030, which by the way, there are 1,375 of, a big boom. This is great news for Tuskegee, but they didn't have housing. So now the university is committed to making sure every incoming freshman in that class has a dorm room to stay in. However, they have misplaced the sophomores. And so now this is the issue. They are now telling sophomores that they have to stay 30 to 35 minutes away in apartment complexes. Let's go back for a minute. There was a Zoom meeting with university officials and students on June 25th. During this Zoom meeting about housing, Tuskegee University communicated that freshmen and sophomores would remain living on campus. This was presented as a priority and a new expectation moving forward, not just simply an idea. However, what happened the very next day? There was more communication. On June 26, sophomores would be relocated to off-campus housing in Auburn, Alabama, 30 to 35 minutes away from campus. This sudden change left many students confused and frustrated because it contradicted information that they were just told the night before. So now they are prioritizing the freshmen and displacing some of the sophomores. However, I believe some sophomores do have on-campus housing. The university provided students with 4 apartment communities to choose from, including Magnolia at Auburn, Sanford Square, Atlas Apartments, and the quarters at Auburn. Students and families have concerns about all these locations. Roach infestations, pest problems, maintenance concerns, poor living conditions. The other issue is academic concerns in campus life, because between the hours of 11 and 1, the university has shut down all classes in order for students to eat, rest, gather. But how do you rest when you live off campus and you don't have a dorm or any place to stay? And as a freshman last year, you created your entire schedule around the fact that you would be living on campus. Because of the mandatory 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. gap and the way many students have scheduled their classes, some students now have schedules that begin as early as 7 a.m. and don't end until 7:30 p.m. Students who were expecting to live on campus plan their schedules around having access to their residence throughout the day. Many students now have long periods of time on campus with no designated place to rest, study, or reset between classes. University officials discussed the possibility of creating spaces on campus for students to rest, relax, or utilize sleeping pods. But how are you going to carve out that space when you didn't even have space on campus to put the 1,375 freshmen that will be here in a couple weeks? Transportation is also an issue, with parking that's now limited and shuttles that may or may not be reliable, especially on the weekends. Sophomores are feeling overlooked and uncertain, and they just want transparency, accountability, and solutions, and someone to email them back. My hope is that the university sees this and they're able to communicate with students and come up with solutions to help them out.